For many people, Vermont is known for its ski areas. For many skiers, Vermont is known for Mad River Glen. Located in Fayston, Vermont, on the northeast slope of General Stark Mountain, Mad River Glen is arguably the most unique and most challenging mountain in the Northeast. The ubiquitous bumper sticker, Mad River Glen, ski it if you can, pretty much sums it up. Unlike other ski areas, Mad River Glen has resisted the urge to modernize, keeping its 1947 base lodge, maintaining its narrow and largely ungroomed trails, and operating its single-chair lift to get skiers to the top of the mountain. Though the mountain has expanded modestly, the natural rustic feel of the place has changed relatively little from opening day in 1948. To continue the spirit of an uncommercialized ski area, in 1995 the Mad River Corporation sold Stark Mountain to the Mad River Cooperative, America's first skier-owned co-op. Members have adopted policies to maintain the small-scale nature, respect cultural and natural resources, and restrict development of the area.
There's probably no place else like Mad River Glen. It's one of the most special places in the world, and there's no other ski area quite like it. There's so many things that are different about it. The no snowboarding, the co-op ownership, the lack of man-made snow, the lack of commercialism, and the single chair here just embodies all of it.
But all was not picture perfect. In 2006, the Mad River Glen Cooperative came to the Trust with a problem, a big problem. Our classic old single-chair lift is in need of major repairs. Can the Preservation Trust of Vermont, whose mission is to help communities save and reuse historic structures, help? As a first step, the Preservation Trust provided a small grant to connect the cooperative with historian John Johnson to do a historical assessment of the single-chair lift.
The single chair is a real treasure for the history of the ski industry. So back in the 1930s, the American Steel and Wire Company had patented a single chair ski lift, and this cable technology comes from bridge building and from mining, and they adapted it to carry, in this particular case, a passenger, up the mountain instead of raw materials for mining.
After the war, Roland Palmetto and a group of investors embarked upon the creation of the Mad River Glen ski area.
And they retained the American Steel and Wire Company to design, manufacture, and install this single chair ski lift in 1947, and it became operable in 1948. And that was the second single chair ski lift in Vermont. And today it's the only single chair ski lift, not only in Vermont, but all of New England and all of the continental United States.
Though the Trust had never preserved a ski lift before, the assessment and the significance of the single chair made the case for doing so.
Mad River Glen is actually a cooperative, the only skier cooperative in North America, and it's made up of about 2,000 shareholders. And when we got to the single chair project, we were actually trying to decide whether we would upgrade and possibly put a double chair in or try to rebuild the single chair. And this actually went out to a shareholder vote to do that, and over 80% of the shareholders voted in favor to rebuild the single chair lift.
Prior to the rehabilitation, the single-chair lift was documented with photos and measured drawings for the Historic American Engineering Record, a program of the National Park Service, and is now on file at the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C.
The single chair refers, of course, to just one chair, but along the wire rope are 158 chairs, which are fixed about 64 feet apart, so that a passenger, a skier with skis on, can sit in the chair comfortably and ride by themselves. It takes about 12 minutes to go up to the top of General Stark Mountain, and then they can ski down. These chairs are attached to the wire rope, and the wire rope is moved or pulled by a bottom drive terminal, which has a large bull wheel. There's also a mid station where, if you choose to, you can get off and ski from there, or you can ride in the chair all the way to the top of the mountain, and there's a top tension terminal. So the rope is moving constantly, all day long, 7 days a week for 4 or 5 months if the ski season lasts that long.
Meanwhile, the cooperative organized their remarkable community of shareholders and initiated the Save the Single campaign to raise over $1.5 million. With little fundraising experience, a committee went forth, transforming their passion about the uniqueness of the mountain into a surprisingly successful capital campaign.
And we had a study done, feasibility study, to see just how much money we could actually raise for this project. And it actually came out that they anticipated we could make about $700,000, and which the project total was going to be about $1.7 million. So obviously there was a big downfall there. But thanks very much to Preservation Trust of Vermont, Stark Mountain Foundation, and the Mad River community, we actually raised all $1.7 million to cover the entire project, which was a fantastic undertaking.
The Preservation Trust, in partnership with the Stark Mountain Foundation, was able to grant to the cooperative all of the funds necessary to reconstruct the single. In a summer-long effort, the chairs were rebuilt according to their original specifications, mechanical parts were repaired or replaced in kind, and the towers lifted off the mountain for reinforcements and repainting.
What we realized at the outset of this huge project was that we had to approach it as a bona fide historic preservation project, because that's what it really was. We knew that when it came time to figure out how to preserve the historic resource, that Preservation Trust of Vermont was going to be our essential partner. What we didn't realize was that they were going to be such a fantastic partner for all aspects of the whole project.
The uniqueness of the single chair lift at Mad River Glen has been preserved, and both the single and the corridor under the single are protected with a preservation covenant. And today, the entire ski area is also in the process of being listed on the National Register of Historic Places.
You know, the experience of riding the single, the experience of skiing trails that were the way they were built 60 years ago is, as I mentioned, an incredibly unique experience. It's something that it's hard to describe why people band together and why they voted, why people donated so much money to the cause. And, you know, it was really a team effort. It wasn't one of those things that we had a bunch of outside consultants helping us. We had several partners, and we all banded together and just made this thing happen. Lots of people, lots of effort, and a lot of fun, actually. And you can see the result of it is behind me loading.
Thanks to the people of the Mad River Glen community and their partnership with the Preservation Trust of Vermont, the single chair lift has been saved, and you can still ski it if you can.